Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the greatest comic book review show in the history of the world, forever and always. Tales from the Spinner Rack. My name is Matt.
I'm Corbin.
And I'm Jay.
Hey, welcome, guys. Another week of good books to review.
We made it.
But we're going to kick off our show with a segment we like to call First Things First, or What'd You Pick Up This Week? This is a segment where we showed things that we might have picked up that are outside of our weekly pull list, be it back issues, first appearances, anything like that. So I'll go ahead and kick us off, and I picked up a copy of Ultimate Fallout 4, first appearance of Miles Morales. Beautiful copy.
Wow, cool.
Beautiful copy. And I also picked up a CGC certified 7.0 Spider-Man 194, first appearance of Black Cat.
Not jealous at all. Not jealous at all. Beautiful book.
It is a beautiful, beautiful copy. Did any of you guys pick up anything this week that's mentionable or noteworthy?
Jay, you got anything?
Not outside my huge.
I feel that. My LCS had a huge pickup of trades that they came into possession of, so I picked up nothing of real mention. One, my favorite book of all time, I'll always plug it.
The Freeze.
Picked that up for like $5. Also, Batman Hush, Gotham by Gaslight. Huh?
Wait, how many copies of that now do you have?
Like 5. Each different cover I have. The 5th anniversary,
cool.
The 10th anniversary. This one, I have maybe 2 of the same. Boom. I also have Batman Hush. Just a bunch of classics that already been out that were just available in trade for a really cheap price. Nothing different, but to build the trade collection, why not? Aside from that, until we share what we got later, I didn't really have too much outside of my normal use. Oh, also this gorgeous, I'll always plug this gorgeous cover.
What about you, Jay? Nothing outside of your norm?
Nah. In fact, I only picked up like 3 books this week. So.
I do want to start the show out by giving a massive shout out to Matt, the owner of Surprise Comics in Surprise, Arizona. I went in there on Wednesday, and he was talking to me. He was like, "Hey, I listened to your guys' show, and you got to come on in and check out one of my mystery boxes," because he listened to our episode about mystery boxes, and so I'll definitely have to do that. But I shop between Samurai and Surprise most of the time, so big shout out to Matt and Surprise for supporting the show and talking to me about the content. So we do have a follow-up to that episode today, as if you remember, Corbin said he bought a giant mystery box from Mile High Comics. So he's going to open that live on the podcast after we do our reviews, because we don't have very many reviews this week. But let's go ahead and jump in to our reviews here on the Spinner Rack and get those out of the way. Who wants to kick us off with a book this week?
I mean, I can start. If anyone has, okay, I'll just throw up mine. I read 2 books this week, both Batman related or Batman adjacent. The first one was Batman Superman number 9. I will share the cover in a split second here. And this was the first time I've picked up the one with both of these in together, as far as Batman and Superman. It was written by Joshua Williamson with art by Clayton Henry. And this basically, I mean, the title says it all. Who killed the Atomic Skull? And that was what got me. I love the Atomic Skull. Just brief. I mean, we all know he was a radioactive blast, basically turned him into who he was. His original name was Albert Michaels, and then he just became this just atomic energy level villain. In the comics, he was in jail and he had been reformed, and yet for some reason in Gotham, he's just found running the streets screaming help. And I don't know if you could get this image here, but he is like, help me out. Like, we're not sure why. There are police that are trying to detain him. Obviously, they can't match his energy. They can't match his power. Batman comes on the scene, and Batman's getting ready to put him down. Like, Skull, stop. And what Thomas Skull's trying to say is, listen, man, like, I'm actually here to help you because I know some people who basically are going to use you to go against Superman. And so I'm just here to stop that. And more police come to detain him, and they aren't even waiting for an order. They're just trying to shoot to kill. Batman takes them down and realizes that they're basically, like, for lack of a better word, walking dead. They're almost droned people. And so Batman puts him down, and then Skull's like, yeah, listen, there's more to this. I'm trying to tell you, like, I escaped so I can warn you, bad things are coming. And then all of a sudden he freaks out, he's like, please tell Maggie, I said I'm sorry and thank you. And then boom, he explodes. And the artwork on that was just visually stunning to me. It's a full 2-page spread of just him taking out a huge portion, or at least a good portion of Gotham in his death. Yes. And that gets Superman's attention from Metropolis, who usually he shares that he usually turns off, like he can hear everything, but he usually like tunes off Gotham because he knows Batman has it in good hands. But something he heard was like, oh no, I need to come and figure out what's going on. So he goes to Gotham, he sees the wreckage, he's helping people out, and then he comes into Batman, who's buried under some of the debris. And then Batman basically, listen, we need to move. And in classic Superman Batman fashion, Superman's like, hey, careful, you got a fracture. And Batman just interrupts him and goes, I'm fine. And it's like just what you'd imagine for a Batman Superman interaction. Batman's filling Superman in. They kind of go over the corpse of the Atomic Skull, and it goes to these two policemen in Gotham Harbor who are trying to investigate some suspicious behavior. When all of a sudden one of them gets ambushed by, I'm just going to share the image here before I say it. One of them gets ambushed and killed by the Ultra Humanite. And it turns out that he's the person in charge of this, I guess, invasion that he's going to do with atomic people. As he calls them, the Atomic Army. And he bemoans the fact that, Atomic Skull had to get away to let Batman and Superman know. And he is like, well, I'm sorry he had to die, but it had to happen. But that's fine, because if they think that's a tragedy, they're going to be devastated by my army. And that's where it ends. So now we kind of know, okay, it was a filler episode, it was solid. I love the artwork on this. I really think that Henry did a great job, not only rendering the Atomic Skull and the way that he looks and the devastation and just his desperation, in a skull, but also I loved the Batman and Superman illustrations as well. The story was one that just continues to move it along. It was kicking off a new storyline. Atomic Skull, boom, what happened? There's the mystery, and now we keep it moving. So I would give this, out of 5, I'd give it a 4. I think it was a really good story. Kind of quick, nothing much to it, but I love that 2-page spread of the Atomic Skull's death. Like, that one really had me look at it for a good minute and a half. Like, wow, that's really nice artwork. So 4 to 5 for Batman Superman number 9.
Ooh.
Cool.
Well, give me that score one more time, Corbin.
4 out of 5.
Nice. 4 out of 5. Do you want to go next, Jay?
Sure. So to keep riding the Superman coattails, I got Action Comics number 1022, and it was so it's, for people who don't know, it's Brian Michael Bendis writing and John Romita Jr. doing the art. Now I want to see, for the risk of receiving tons of hate, I'm not the biggest John Romita Jr. fan. His art's, it's cool. It doesn't, for me personally, it's not so bad that it detracts from the story, but sometimes just the way he draws like faces, it's kind of weird to me, and it's off-putting sometimes for me. But so anyway, so to get into the story, it's the House of Kent Part 1, which kind of picks up where Year the Villain, with that whole thing with Lex and the goddess Perpetua and versus the Justice League versus the Legion of Doom. Big thing. Anyway, so one of the ways they helped defeat Perpetua was they ended up getting Justice League members from like all different timelines and different alternate realities, different parts in time, and so one of the heroes that they ended up getting was Connor Kent, and Connor is in this universe with Clark and with John, and he kind of doesn't know, like no one really knows how he ended up here, and or how he can even get back to his dimension. So Superman's kind of trying to help him figure out, like, so how did you come to be, kind of thing. And so they go to the Fortress of Solitude, and they kind of he asks them a bunch of questions, and he and some of the other Justice League members kind of confer. And but one of the things that when Brian Michael Bendis, in my opinion, when he's at his best, is when he's putting a human element into some of these heroes, into the stories. And he can be quite really impressive when he does that. And in my opinion, this is in fact, I think this is probably the best Superman book he's written so far. And not a lot happens. The coolest thing, though, what I'm talking about, where I really think Bendis made it just awesome, was when so they're sitting there, and so John comes back from the 31st century, and he meets Connor for the first time, and there was kind of like a brotherly thing, almost like instantly. And so we're like, well, we don't know what to do. What do we do with this guy? And so Superman goes, I think I know an answer. And so he takes him to what's her face, to the Kent's farm, to the Kent family farm, and he meets his parents, and his parents, like, at first don't recognize him, but then it kind of starts coming back, and somehow they recognize Connor. And I don't know, it was a great moment of like bringing the whole, like, Superman family together, and it was just a touching part. It was a touching moment for me, but it was like a simple story. Like I said, not anything explosive happens. There's no bad guys in this whole story. It was just Superman getting to know Connor getting to know John, and just embracing each other as family. And it was a really cool story. Again, with everything that's going on around, it was nice to see something like this.
Nice. What score do you give it?
I give it, okay, I'd probably give it higher maybe if it was somebody other than Romita Jr. doing the art. So I'll give it a 4.5.
4.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
There, nice, nice review.
Yeah, it was a fun story. It was really good.
4.5 out of 5 for a J, huh?
Sir, yes, sir.
There you go. All right, so I guess it's my turn here. I'm gonna review a book that Jay and I have been fans of that I'm a little disappointed he didn't pick up this week.
I did. I got the digital.
You ended up finding it? Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna go with Red Mother #5. We lost Corbin. Apparently.
What?
Apparently Corbin disappeared, and he messed up my whole setup here, my whole setup. Red Mother #5. It is from Boom Comics, created by Jeremy Hunn. Danny Luckert is the illustrator. This book has been a instant classic for me, an instant success. The book opens up with Daisy, our main protagonist, seeing the Red Mother. Yet again, it's confronting her. Finally, she confronts the Red Mother. It chases her down. The giant monster basically chases her down into the subway, where she decides she's kind of has enough is enough. And as she is confronting this monster and it's coming for her, she decides that she's going to push it in front of a train. So she pushes the monster in front of the train, causing it to splatter all over her and everyone around her. And then it cuts to the Red Mother splash page, kind of like it does. So it's kind of like the intro, and then you get into the main book where we find out that Daisy has been offered a job in London, and she's trying to decide whether or not she's going to take it. She decides to take it, and basically if you remember from the first issue, her boyfriend was captured by the Red Mother and disappeared and has not been seen since. His brother comes to visit her to tell her that their mother has decided to finally have a funeral service for her boyfriend, and that they're going to do so before she moves away. And that's kind of where it ends, where she decides to accept the offer for the new job in London and go and take it. Kind of a bridge issue from the events from the first 4 issues, kind of a bridge issue to the back half. Good quick read. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Like I said, Red Mother is a book that has not disappointed me yet. In all 5 issues, I have not had an issue where I'm like, you know what, this has just been kind of whatever. I don't care. This book is not my flavor anymore. Definitely not the case when it comes to Red Mother. So I give Red Mother number 5 a 4 out of 5. It's definitely a pickup. This is a book that's going to be on my pickup list every single month that it comes out. There's rumors that are going around that it's going to be optioned for a TV show or movie, and I absolutely hope it does, because it is a fantastic book that's worth picking up every time if you're kind of into that horror aspect type book and you're looking for that good kind of mystery / horror / graphic book. It's definitely one I think worth picking up.
Yeah, I do. I totally agree with you in total.
That's a lot of totals, my man.
It is. It's
1,000%.
totaled.
I agree 100%.
I needed my phone to calculate that many totals.
110%.
It's good because it's like you said. It's so fast paced, yet it still has. You're still emotionally connected with the main character, and you feel her pain and her sadness and her horror. And I'm reluctant to show any kind of enthusiasm for this to be interpreted into a TV show. One of the reasons why I love comics is because it's one of the purest forms of storytelling from an artist. It's from an artist to its audience. There's 2 people, that there's the writer, the artist, and you don't get cinematographers, editors, actor interpretations, producers. You don't get any of that. It is an artist's vision, and he tells it the way he wants. And to me, that's why so many of these things, they're either, they can be horrible or they can be awesome. And this is so good, and I can't see it existing this good in any kind of other medium. I'll probably watch it, but do I have high expectations for it? I can't see I don't see how this can be any better. But I guess we'll see.
I mean, that's the thing I like about this this book so much, is there's the fact that look, we're still 5 issues. We're 5 issues in to this book and this series, and we still don't really know what is going on. Like, you only know the monster from the fact that it takes her boyfriend takes her eye. She gets a glass eye. She's having these visions, these creepy visions at times. She finally has it, confronts it, and it hasn't been around for a while, but you get that eerie feeling that it's not over. So it keeps you guessing. It's not spoon feeding you all this stuff. I can't wait for more. I can't wait for more of this book. It's one book like every month when it's on the shelf. I'm like, oh man, gotta pick it up. I gotta have it. So we'll see.
Definitely. And that the demon is actually really frightening looking.
Yes, he is.
That makes it even cooler.
Yeah. All right. I have to check this out.
So that's it. That's Red Mother number 5.
And what was your grade for that again?
4 out of 5.
Got some 4, 4, and 4.5 out of 5. Okay.
Who wants to go next?
I guess we'll just keep the order. I'll hop on in. I got my last book here. This was Batman Detective Comics 1022. Just like the action, we got the detective. You know what? This book, Peter J. Tomasi, with story in words, Brad Walker on pencils. I'm just gonna go into this. For one, let's get a positive aside. I love Brad Walker's on Batman, just on the pencils. It's just great fun to see. I remember just reading this and going, wait a second. I'm looking at Batman. I've read a bunch of detectives. It's been a while since 1021, but I almost forgot Walker was on it. And then I saw one image of Batman that reminded me of the Tales from the Dark Multiverse limited series that came out, and how he did the Death of Superman reinterpretation of that. Because the Batman. Anyway, it's unique. It's signature. It's Batman, but it's just a touch that is Brad Walker's, and I really enjoy that. As far as the story itself, okay. So it's been a minute. It's been a minute since Detective Comics 1021. Basically, the story up to this point concerned Harvey Dent, Two-Face. He was having struggles with his identity, which is usually, the beginning of a solid storyline with Two-Face, of which there haven't been super many of them. However, he's doing that, and Batman's attempting to solve this mystery between Two-Face, this cult that he has that is just dedicated to all things Two-Face, and helping him out. And it's been a while, before all this craziness happened, but the last issue ended based on a cliffhanger where we saw Two-Face shoot Batman pretty much point blank several times in the chest. And it was like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? Fine. So now we go from that, and it was a really good, set-off point. We have this delay. Let's see where we start. We start off with Batman basically hanging over a vat of acid, completely restrained, which I guess is interesting because, okay, well, how is Batman going to get himself out of it this time? But he was shot 3 times in the chest last issue, and there's, no mention of that. Now, mind you, I'm sure he has Kevlar, bullet protection, everything. I'm sure he does. But, that was pretty significant shots. At least you would have thought that Batman would have registered some pain or would have hampered him in any way. No, not really. He's in this he's tied up, and I'll show this little piece of artwork here. Sorry, he's tied up. He's trapped over. Can you see? There you go. He's trapped over the acid. Boom. How's he going to get out? Two-Face is going on and on about how, people change, different sides, his ideology of just being Two-Face. And long story short, don't really need to belabor the point. Batman escapes. He just gets out of it and saves Two-Face and his men who would have melted from that burial acid. Even though Batman actually he got dropped into the acid, but his suit hung around long enough for him to escape without melting, even though his face was not covered, but it happened. And that's another negative. Much as I like the colors and the artwork and everything, the angles, the shots, they were very, for lack of a better word, chaotic. They were all over the place. You can kind of follow, okay, here this happens, but it's not super easy. And especially in the first half of the book, it's just all green because of the acid. So you're just seeing green, and now he's here, and now he's here, and all of a sudden he's across, and he's shooting a batarang, and it was just really hard to follow, and it kind of lost me. I think that the illustrations could have definitely flowed a lot better than it did. And so that was kind of a little bit of a downer for me because the artwork was fine, but it did feel kind of pasted together. And actually, it's kind of how the whole book felt, just tacked up and on. in short order, Batman escapes. He escapes the acid. He escapes Two-Face. He finds two of Two-Face's henchmen. He basically beats just the crud out of them. Then he goes to talk to one of Two-Face's henchmen's wives, because the henchman passed away, to get more of an understanding of what happened to his partner and where he can find him. He goes to the partner. He finds the partner. He says, "Listen, what's up with Two-Face? Why is he doing all this?" And then basically, it's a more convoluted story. It turns out that Two-Face is doing all this, but it's not really all his design at all. It's all the Joker. And at that point, I was like, oh, okay, great. I should have known when it literally said at the very top, Journey to Joker War, that this thing wasn't going to be about Two-Face and it's really about the Joker. And what I did not like about that is that it feels very much Tom King-ish. And I hate to say that, but I don't. Because you make a story, and maybe this was an editorial mandate. I'm not sure. But it seems like Peter J. Tomasi had great pacing, had great storytelling. Everything was building up. And all of a sudden, it's like a hasty rewrite to go back to scenes that we already read with intentions that were already clear and manipulate to make it so that the Joker was behind it all along. So short version, Two-Face was tired of life, went to commit suicide. Boom. One of his henchmen found him. Rather than bury him, try to revive him, they decided to keep his body as to hold off to auction or for ransom for the highest bidder. Surprisingly, after 2 days, nobody shows up. Not the police, not likely. Not Batman, not likely. Not the commissioner, not likely. Not any of his ex-friends, femme fatale, anything. Nobody comes up to save Two-Face or to see how to bargain for his body, but the Joker. The Joker comes, brings him to a guy who he knows who can do some brain surgery to bring him back, but also to be manipulated with some of Mad Hatter's tech to do whatever the Joker wants him to do. So this entire time, the Joker's been playing Two-Face's strings. And that's kind of where we're left at. And then, I guess the Joker finds, he's blowing something up in some building, and he goes, oh, it looks like I found, some new recruit. And that's where the book ends. And for me, for the end of a storyline, after this long a wait and how well Tomasi was going with this, I am disappointed. I'm not going to lie. I get that the Joker is going to be the main thing, but I don't like being force-fed that. And I get it. The Joker is Batman's arch nemesis. Whatever you want to say, he is.
He is the yin to Batman's yang.
Exactly, but I don't need that yammed into me. You know what I mean? I agree. Exactly. That's why it's something yin, yang, yam. That's what I'm saying. Because
I like that.
Thank you. Because
I apologize profusely for that.
Oh, they're gonna love
for that terrible pun and that.
Oh, they're gonna love it. They're gonna love it. I'm not apologizing for nothing. Y'all love it. No, okay. But anyways, because he is, we already know. What is implied doesn't have to be stated. And I don't like the fact that Two-Face is just as good as his own right of a member of Batman's Rogues Gallery. Same as Two-Face, same as Poison Ivy, same as Catwoman. You don't have to make it so that at the beginning of everything was Joker, and Joker made everything happen, always, from the beginning, for everything. No. I think some of the magic in it is that although we know that the Joker is Batman's arch nemesis, the Joker knows that he's Batman's arch nemesis, and then everyone else has their point to play because they all feel like they have something on Batman. You know what I mean? So for the book to finally take this sudden and direct route where a lot of retconning that wasn't there, because I remember reading these issues and he wasn't the center of it, but all of a sudden, oh, now he was, but it wasn't fully developed. It's just oh, you just show me some flashbacks that show the Joker there. It's just highly illogical. Kind of lost me as far as the storytelling aspect is concerned, and I'm not excited for it either, even though I understand that editorially they're all big on this Joker war and everything has to tie into that. But I think you can at least finish out a solid storyline that you had been working on for a while, close that out, and then leave a cliffhanger or something to lead into the Joker, much like Batman and Superman did with their book. And so for that, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5.
What?
Wow. Well, let's hear your rebuttal, Jay, because you read this book too, right?
Yeah. Well, so a little bit different in Corbin is
I like it, yeah. Uh-huh.
I actually liked the art. I thought it was some of it was really in your face, especially some of the action parts. It was so bombastic, and it just popped. I thought it was a pretty cool just action book, I do agree with Corbin. I did think it was lame that they had to slip the Joker in, because when this was all going on, I'm like, oh, this is so awesome. They're bringing Harvey Dent back in a big way, and he's actually going to be a threat. And he's got like a cult behind him, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And yeah, they pretty much just make it, oh no, it was all the Joker's doing, and I'm like, oh, that's lame. That was lame. But I wouldn't go so low. I'd probably give it a 3.
Okay.
I'd probably give it a 3, even 3.5. But yeah, it was kind of lame to just. It's like you got the rug yanked out from under you. You're sitting there thinking to yourself, this is gonna be great, and all of a sudden it's like zoink, no.
Joker. Yeah.
So,
okay, I respect that.
So the ending was a letdown.
So what's your score on it then, Jay?
3.5.
3.5. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, you're up next. You got any other books, or was that your final book as well?
That was it, man. That was all I had.
I guess I will move on to my final book here. So my final book this week, let me see if I can find it. There we go. My final book this week is The Boys, Dear Becky, #1.
Becky.
So this book, if you're familiar with the Boys series, outside of the Amazon TV shows, if you're familiar with the Boys series, this series takes place 12 years after the end of the original Boys run. It meets up with you meet up with Huey again, and he's in a bar. This book is a little hard to read, as it was very in the books. Huey has a very thick Scottish accent, and they really drive that home in this series. Garth Ennis really drives that into you as you're reading it. So it's a little hard to read and kind of translate through what they're talking about, because it's written with a very thick accent, Scottish accent. But he's at a bar with a friend talking to one of his trans buddies, and they're just kind of a general conversation. And then it cuts to him at home, laying on the ground in a fetal position in the bathroom. He receives a notebook that belongs to the butcher's wife, Becky, and it kind of flashes back to some events that take place during the original Boys run that are never seen. And it cuts to the butcher and the Frenchie and all of his group basically torturing a child for some reason. And they're cutting his tongue out with a razor blade. And as he's doing this, Huey is pretty much reading about it in the butcher's words, as he's kind of responding to his wife via her diary. Like, he found it and he's writing back to her and responding to her. And Huey's reading it, and that's kind of where it leaves off. It ends rather abruptly. After they mutilate this child and they talk about it. It definitely delivers in the Boys fashion. Like I said, it's a little rough at the beginning with trying to read through that thick Scottish accent, and you kind of got to read it a couple times, and you're like, oh, okay, that's what they're saying. I get it. And it was a little bit of work to get through, just because of that, and you kind of had to read, kind of be like, what are they talking about, and how are kind of trying to understand how they're putting it, because it is with a thick accent, and then it finally clicks. You're like, oh, okay, that's what it is, and you get through it, and I liked it. I'm excited to see where it goes. Like I said, the dialogue's a little hard to get through. It delivers on the gruesomeness and the violence that you've come to know from the Boys. I'd probably give it a 3.5 out of 5. I'm definitely looking forward to issue 2 and to continue on, but just some of the gruesomeness in this book is just out of this world. I'm trying to find, after they cut out the kid's tongue, he's like sitting there screaming at him with no tongue and stuff. So,
was that good or was that bad? You're saying?
No, it was good. The art's good. The violence is on point from what you should expect from the Boys. If you're a fan of the first Boys series, it's definitely worth picking up. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. Like I said, the dialogue was a little hard to understand, but after you got through that, and it kind of ends abruptly, but it's definitely setting up more exciting things to come in the next issue. So I'm really looking forward to issue 2. So 3.5 out of 5. Definitely be back for issue 2.
So now you see what I was talking about last week when I was talking, or a couple weeks ago when I was talking about Hellblazer, how the writers kind of phonetically spell out like Constantine and everybody's accents. But it's cool though, because when you're used to it and you get into it, it kind of like immerses you more into that world, you know. But anyway,
and I mean, it's interesting that you're getting a new story that's still taking place in the continuity and timeline of the original story, but it's the events in present time are 12 years later. So it's still kind of interesting to see where they're going to go with it. So I'll be back for issue 2, but I enjoyed issue 1 a lot. So before that's all our reviews for this week. Now, before we get going on to Corbin's
I forgot
mystery box.
Oh yeah, right.
We got a little bit of news I think we need to touch on. We touched on a little bit on Absolute Geek on Friday, but I think we can go into a little bit more as more events have transpired since then. But we have an end of an era as DC Comics has decided to sever ties with the Diamond distributors, significantly ending Diamond's monopoly on the comic book distribution industry. Which has caused a lot of retailer backlash as well, as they're pulling all their books. So it came out today that this is going to happen as of July. Their books slated for July will not come from Diamond. They're going to come from their new distributors. And the reason it's upsetting stores and shop owners is because one of the distributors that it's going through is directly connected to Midtown Comics. So they're almost receiving their comics and buying from a direct competition, and that's where it's causing such a big stir in the comic book amongst the comic book shop owners. So basically, they're giving their money to their direct competition for them to send them the books.
Wow, yeah, that's wow.
It's going to be interesting to see how this progresses come next month as they do that, and we're going to have to find out, and hopefully we can get some word from some shop owners what they're going to do as far as all their pre-orders, because they've had to pre-order all the Joker stuff before Corona hit, the Joker War stuff. Batman 92 comes out next week. That's going to come from Diamond, so I think that's all safe. But who knows up to what point they cut off and how they're going to handle and how Diamond and DC are going to handle that redistribution of those pre-orders. So
it's going to be crazy.
See, but yeah, it's going to be crazy. What do you guys thoughts on this? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing?
I think the timing of it is bad. I mean, if you're going to do it, coming straight off of a comic drought that we've had, stores are scrambling to get their footing again, and now it's like, oh no, not only all of a sudden are you going to be scrambling just to get people in the door and everything with the new books, but also you're going to have to go find some different ways to get your books after this because of our own lack of capital with which we need to go and find other dealers or other distribution methods to get books. I don't think that it is fair to the comic shops. I think that some will suffer in result of it. One, I guess, bright side of it is a few comic shops have been like in massive protests doing like half off DC Comics and dollar DC Comics and all sorts of things, just like a big, middle finger to DC, which as a consumer is helpful because fine, I can grab all those books for a relatively cheap price, even up into and including the recent Batman run that's, like you said, 92 is coming out. So from a consumer point, I think it's interesting. From a shop perspective, I think it's troubling. And in general, I think it remains like a wait and see type of process to see what kind of manifests itself as more information comes out and how comic shops adapt. Because right now, it doesn't seem like it's good news at all. But maybe there's plans for DC to be more, more of a productive method of distributing. I don't know what the issue is wrong with Diamond outside of money at the end of the day. But
and like Kyle just said in the chat, yes, give it up. Kyle is in the chat.
Kyle,
pay attention to that. Kyle's in the chat. They do have. There are two options for comic shops for DC now. So it's they do have 2 different distributors that they're gonna use, but the one I'm trying to find the name of the one distributor, Lunar UCS Comic Distributors. That is, I believe that's the one that's directly through with Midtown. So it's like they're working. If they order from them, they're ordering directly from direct competition. And then the other one is Penguin Random House. So they do have options there, but that's kind of what's causing the stir that you're seeing with like Mile High or not Mile High, sorry, Midtown. No, yeah, Mile High. Why did I say Midtown? Mile High Comics, and a lot of these other comic book shops saying that they're not going to carry DC books anymore. DC books are on sale. They're discounting their prices drastically, 25-cent DC books. You have all these shop owners attacking DC Comics for this because that they feel like they're being screwed over with this deal because, you know, if for whatever reason they can't get books from Penguin Random House and they have to use one of the other distributors, that distributor's coming from the direct competition. So
that's true, and you're
seeing that backlash from it. And it'll be interesting to see how it goes moving forward.
Yeah. I think I mentioned an article I was reading that basically DC was emboldened by the fact that their books at Walmart, the $10 books had sold, I guess, moderately well. And like you said, their agreement with Penguin and Random House. And yeah, that's interesting. I don't know.
Kyle says he's still not going to buy from Mile High even with their DC Sucks sale. So,
is there something? I'm interested to know why. Okay.
There's something there. You'll have to ask Kyle.
I want to know. Yeah. Okay, cool. But
what do you think, Jay?
Well, you know, in all the years that I've been going to comic book stores, I have heard a lot of store owners just talking about how much Diamond sucks and how much you know, the shenanigans they pull, and you know, because they can, you know, they ran a monopoly. And there are a lot of comic book stores that are really upset. But, you know, if you read some of the comments on like the Bleeding Cool post, there are a lot of store owners that are like, hey, awesome. Finally, someone stood up to these guys. Because have you ever seen, now this is just me being, I don't, you know what? I'm not even going to go there.
Just go there.
Okay, fine. Have you ever seen the dude that runs Diamond?
No.
He looks like old school, like he could have been in the background in Goodfellas. I'll just put it that
way. Okay.
Oh, he looks like old school gangsta, huh?
Yeah, he kind of does. I'm like, if I saw that dude in a dark room, I'd check for plastic on the carpet.
You gotta get your comics with me, kid.
Yeah, you know, yeah, pretty much. And so I'm like, so there's a lot of people that are like, this is good, and there's a lot of people that this is bad. So I mean, not to sound selfish, but as a consumer, if the books are there and they're priced right, you know, I'm not going to complain. But I think Corbin hit it right on the head when you said it's bad timing, man. I mean, geez, we didn't get, our books were, so they're still being just, you know, spurts here and there, and we're not getting anything regular, and we haven't gotten anything for, you know, a month, for weeks. And now it's like.
Jay is completely right. I'm going to share my screen right now. His name is Steve Jeppy. He does. He looks straight out of Goodfellas, man.
Heck yeah, dude.
Straight out of Goodfellas, dude. He was born in Little Italy, Baltimore. So yeah, it fits it. He's straight out of Goodfellas. He's going to put a hit on you.
Can you not use my name on this episode? Yeah,
he's gonna whack you.
Corbin, can you come start my car in the morning?
You're gonna get it whacked, bro.
Oh man. Oh yeah. But that's interesting. I remember I was saying a lot of people as consumers, I thought maybe the same Bleeding Cool article, but like Jesse James comments like, hey, we're still gonna sell them, people are still gonna buy them. I think that is kind of the attitude that consumers have majority. You know, I guess if I was more invested, like with with my local comic shop and how they get books, I'm definitely going to reach out and have a conversation about it, because I want to know more from that perspective and see what they feel. But I mean, I'm gonna get the books either way. Their fight isn't my fight in terms of as long as I get my Batman 92, I'll be okay. But it is interesting to see how it all plays out. And also, is this just a minor little footnote, or is this a sign of larger things to come in the comic book industry? I don't know.
Well, like Kyle just said in the chat, and I think a lot of people are going to share his sentiment. He says that, see, I'm mostly a DC guy. If my shop were not to carry DC, I'd go to another shop for my entire comic needs. And I think that's how a lot of people are going to be. Yeah, they're not going to be. I don't think there's a reason to be shop specific. You're going to go where you can get your books. Like as a consumer, you're going to go where you can get that product. And it's just going to be interesting to see. Like, I think my big question is, what are they going to do for all these shops that have already pre-ordered Joker War? And
what provisions will be made?
Yeah, is it like they're going to have July cutoff date? So there's up their orders up to then are going to be Diamond, and then moving forward, are they going to get a refund? Is that money going to automatically just pivot it over to their new distributors? Are they going to get some sort of credit? Diamond's not going to want to give that money back. Diamond can't afford to pay their people. So who knows how this is going to be? It's going to be an interesting situation we're going to watch play out. And I would love to be able to talk to some shop owners. I might talk to Matt from Surprise Comics on Wednesday when I go in there and see his thoughts about it. Try to talk to Esteban from Fantastic World, get his thoughts on it. Ken from Drawn to Comics, get his thoughts on it.
I'll talk to Howard, who already has an agreement with a different distributor, so I know we'll be fine there. But just to get the perspective,
see if I can talk to Mike from Samurai to get his perspective on it, and just kind of do a general consensus or a temperature feel of the local shops and see how they feel about it and where they stand and all that. So
I like it.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that. Kyle says, and comics are a luxury too, not want to make sure their customers are happy is not. Agree. They should make sure they're happy. But all right, so before we'll end the show with buyer pass for next week. But go ahead, Corbin's been waiting. Waiting.
Oh yeah.
We had a discussion 2 episodes ago about comic book random boxes and whether they're worth your money or not. And so, Corbin, start off by telling how much did you pay for this?
$20, $25.
$25. All right, so $27.
Yep, shipping had included. And this was for, I guess, the high. Now, mind you, take it with a grain of salt. I wanted to test it out. So this was the high grade, like $1 bin 5-pound mystery box.
So what we're gonna do is, I don't know. Maybe we should do. Let's see if we can do it like that. Hold on.
Ooh, wow. Okay. All
right. You spotted some goodies, I see.
I mean, I'm just see a lot of books. I'm just happy it's a lot of books. I don't know what's in there yet, but I'm ready when.
How many books do you think are in there? Count them up real quick. No.
I'll count them as I take them out. But I got my invoice right here. I don't care if is my address on that. Whatever.
No, I don't show your address.
I'm not showing my address.
All right.
19. See, not bad. The shipping and handling was an extra.
Because I wanted to know how many books are in there. Because what I was gonna do is I was gonna run them through eBay and go by what's eBay prices.
Let's do it.
To get the total value of what you got, to see if what you actually received was worth the money you paid, and then I think that'll definitively break down whether or not comic book random boxes are worth your time or not.
That sounds like a plan. I'm ready when you are. Oh, I see one that looks old school. One of the most eagerly anticipated games in 1996.
Okay. All right, so go ahead. Let's go ahead and draw them, show them to the camera.
Oh, they're not bagged or boarded.
And Jay, do you think you can? When I give off the price, do you think you could write it down?
Do what now?
Okay, so what I'm gonna have Corbin do is he's gonna show the book. I'm gonna look it up on eBay, see what the eBay price is. I'll give you the price that it's selling for or recently sold for.
Okay.
And then you write that down, and then when we're all done, we'll go through, tally it up, give us the total, and we'll see if the value he got in return is greater or less than or equal to what he paid.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
To see if these are worth your time and money.
All right. Well, they come in. They're just a bunch of comics, no bags or boards. They're just books. So
already off to a bad start. I mean, goddamn heathens. You goddamn heathens if you're not going to send your books in bags and boards.
Yep. So first one, Step Back Steel 26. Natasha's in the House. interesting looking book. I'll keep it moving. Yep, Step Back Steel.
Steel 26. That's not even
Yep.
on.
Okay, well, we'll just keep it moving then. Second one. Oh, another Steel. 28.
Steel 28.
Plasmus Attacks. Oh, Peter J. Tomasi.
It's not even.
Oh, I'm sorry. Step Back Steel was just Steel. Step Back was part of the title. My bad. Like, just,
Okay.
you know. So Steel 26, Steel 28. I've never... Valiant presents the Chaos Effect.
So Steel 28 is $1.64.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, then. Steel 26?
Steel 26 is that's not Superman. Steel 26 is also coming in at $1.
Fun.
Dollar even?
Yeah,
$1, okay.
$1 even.
Okay.
All right, Valiant presents the Chaos Effect. Epilogue Part 1. Not really sure who's behind this. I guess I'll run through the creative team. Kevin Van Hook as the writer, Louis Small Jr. as the penciler. Okay. That's the Chaos Effect, Epilogue Part 1.
That's
then
also
we got
$1.
Then we got Robotech. The Macross Saga. As seen on TV. No, I've heard of that before.
What issue of Robotech?
8. My bad. I mean, I guess.
Is it
still far.
it's Robotech? What's the is it the new generation?
No, just Robotech the Macross Saga.
Okay, $1.27.
Okay. Muties, the Changeling. Anybody remember that little limited series, Muties? This is number 1.
Ooh.
Yeah. Muties number 1. Not bad. I'll check it out later.
Beauty's number 1 is last one sold for $10.
Oh, wow.
There we go. That's a big one. That's a big money. All right. Let's go to the next one here.
But the majority of them are selling for 99 cents. So
okay, listen, don't kill me here. All right, Warrior Nun.
I think we're gonna go 99 cents on that one.
Rituals. Yeah. A decent looking cover, don't we agree?
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Who's the publishing house for this?
What number is that?
Number 1.
That was.
Oh, it came out the year I was born, 95.
That was Warrior Nun.
Yes.
That's actually a good one because it's a anticipated Netflix option.
Ooh.
So that is actually going for $20.
Bingo!
That one right there is worth. Is it a first printing? Show me the cover. Oh, down a little bit. Bring it down. I need to see the full cover. So that's so the one that's going for 20 is a variant.
Oh, fudge.
That one's 5. That one you've got is 5.
Oh,
so it's still not bad. $5.
Not bad. All right, Mike Grell, Shaman's Tears. This is an image book.
Is it, I think that's Shaman's Tears, buddy.
Shaman, I can't read. Shaman's Tears.
I'm glad that we take comic book advice from a dude who can't read.
I also work at a library, so watch yourself there.
What number is it?
Number 3.
Number 3. I think it's gonna take forever.
Yeah, I mean, I can run through them. You can tell me if there's a big book you see.
Shaman's Tears, number 3. You're looking about $250.
Okay, we have Andy Diggle and Enrique Brescia on Swamp Thing number 5. Life during wartime. Vertigo from the Vertigo line. Also, they promoted Aliens vs. Predator back in the day then.
Oh, that's the
That just
Vertigo
shows-
Swamp thing?
Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. The Watching was big. Hellblazer was being promoted. Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
That's a $2 book.
Dang it. Okay. Moving on. Another Mike Grell. Maggie. The cat. Ooh, wow. Looking feisty. Maggie the cat. That's the number one, if that helps with anything. Oh, I knew this was going to be old when it was promoting RoboCop 3.
That's a $2 book.
Okay, this is just fun. Let's try to speed this up here. Plasma? Yeah, Marvel's Mightiest Heroes couldn't make it, so these guys will have to save the day. Great. Number 2, Plasma.
That's $1.25.
Okay. I mean, at this point, it looks like I'm going to break even. Reika, number 4. Gotta say, never heard of some of these. This is going to expand my comic knowledge immensely. Oh, but it's all black and white.
That's a $2 book.
Okay. Can't escape these. Every time I open a mystery box, I get one. Vigilante.
You don't like
Vigilante number 49. Suggested for mature readers on the back, promoting Black Hawk, Blood and Iron by Howard Chaykin.
What number was it?
49.
Vigilante 49. That's a $3 book.
$3 book. All right.
That is also the penultimate issue. So it's a
Look at that.
It looks like
The
it's ended
Skull Man, a Tokyo Pop manga.
up. The Skull Man.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks interesting. Not going to attempt to butcher the names when I couldn't even say Shaman. Shaman. Number 1, if that helps with anything.
Number
Also
1.
black and white. Look at that artwork.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That is a $3 book.
Okay. The Gear Station, number 3. Never heard of this. Looks like Tomb Raider. Yeah.
The Gear Station number 3. That's a $2 book.
Okay. Impact Comics, The Black Hood. Number 4, The Coming of the Crusaders. And while he does that, I will attempt to find the creative team. Makes for great audio content. Developed for Impact Comics and written by Mark Wheatley. Designed and drawn by Rick Burchett. $2 book, lovely. Scare Tactics, number 11, A Death in the Family. Scare Tactics, number 11. It promoted the movie Half Baked.
$2 book.
Okay. Len Kaminsky wrote it with Anthony Williams, the penciler. Siege, number 3. Siege, number 3. Also, I see myself splurging this upcoming, well, depending on what I spend, buying more comics on a high-end comic box just for another of these.
That's a $1 book.
Okie dokie. Moving on. You want to run through some and just see if there's any that you think are interesting to worth pull up?
Yeah,
You're already past. You're already at like at $33.
There you go.
Oh, okay. I'm not mad. All right.
So the value's there, but
I'll read through all the covers. Propeller Man. Ultraverse Wrath.
This is very typical from my experience of mystery boxes.
Kazar. Yay. I was so hyped for Kazar. Grendel.
Oh,
Grundle. The Grundle.
Grendel. Midnight Nation. All right. Red Prophet. Orson Scott Card with the Marvel. Interesting. Kaboom?
Huh.
Jeff Loeb. Doll One. Jim Starlin's Dreadstar. Ooh, drop that. Can't do that with these books with no bag or board. Dreadstar. Number 2. Vigil. Fall from Grace. Arvin Loudermilk and Mike Iverson.
That cover
JSA.
looks like trash.
Classified. Thank you for that. You're really good about it. JSA Classified. Superboy number 11.
Oh, it's Connor.
There we go. Yep. Siege again. So nice. Had to get it twice.
That Orson Scott card book might be worth a little something.
I'm intrigued to check that out. Another Gear Station.
Which book?
The Orson Scott card, Marvel collab. It was let me find it here. I ran through a Red Prophet, Tales of Alvin Maker, number 6. Red Prophet. You also have Exiles number 7.
Nice.
New Universal with Warren Ellis and Salvador Larroga.
Oh, cool.
Interesting. Wild Times DV8. Don't know what that is. Cerebus. Okay.
Interesting.
It's a $2 book.
Really? That sucks.
X51 with the classic Hulk got milk on the back. Ex Machina.
Oh, weird.
Classically promoting Blade Trinity on the back. Mortal, Truths and Legends. So ultimately, this book, I got a lot of books for what I paid for. I didn't get a lot of good books for what I paid for.
So you got a lot of quantity for your value, but not quality.
Nope, I did not. Soaring Star, and then last but not least, oh, that sucks.
DC Nation.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that I think the consensus is
but it must be a mile high variant.
That's a no. It's
a mile high variant.
It's so shitty it froze your internet. That's. I'm gonna say it's a no on the.
It's a mile high variant.
Well, that's still a big fat no for me on them random boxes. I think. I mean.
Yeah, that's very. Like I said, that's exactly what I remember them being like.
That's a lot of nonsense. I mean, yes, you only spent $20 and you got your value if you were to part it out and sell every single one of them, but there's nothing in there that's of like. It's all offshoot comics. There's no ASMs, no Batmans, no. Nothing like that. So it's all pretty much fodder. It's a whole bunch of fodder with really nothing to write home about.
$19, $8 shipping and handling. 5-pound mystery box. Yeah. I will probably have to splurge and go high end before I call it a day on them. But yeah, first, I mean, I guess I have a lot of X51 that tied me over and
want the mystery box. Like I said the time when we talked, if you're a comic book collector and you're looking to expand your collection vastly and get into some new books, you got some number 1s in there, so you can't complain about that. But you got no quality. You got quantity, you got no quality. So I think you'd have a harder time selling those books from what eBay's got them for, because there's a lot of them on eBay. But I think you definitely got more than your money's worth, but the quality isn't there. So.
I have to agree. Better luck next time, I guess.
All right, so let's get to that portion of our show where we run down next week's new, outcoming books, and we will tell you whether we're going to be buying or passing. Remember, this is a Marvel week. So we will have new Marvel books this week. So let's go ahead and kick it off. Let's see if there's anything good coming out from Boom Studio. Something is Killing the Children, number 7.
Yes.
That's Jay's all on board for that one. That's a pass for me just because I'm not reading the series, although I hear great things about it.
Dito for myself.
Let's see. Going down Dark Horse. Nothing coming from Dark Horse. Really, unless you're looking for American Gods. Volume 3 of American Gods comes out from Dark Horse. DC Comics, we have Batman 92. I think that's a go for all of us, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a go for all of us. That's the big cover is that Art Germ cover. First cover appearance. Here you go, guys. First cover appearance of I just forgot her name now. God damn it.
Flip, I just said it myself. Not how are we Punchline.
Punchline, yeah. Thank you. How could I forget that? First cover appearance of Punchline, Batman 92.
So.
The Stanley Art Germ cover, so that's definitely a go for all of us. Batman Secret Files number 3.
Maybe. You said Batman Secret Files?
Yeah.
I might check it out. I've been kind of partial to all the Batman titles, so it might be something I look at.
That's a negative for me. Batman Adventures Continues number 1.
Yep.
Nay.
That's continuing of the classic animated series. You have to.
Nay.
Batman Grave. Batman Grave number 27. Or sorry, Batman Grave 20. God damn it. Batman Grave 7.
Nah.
DC Goes to War hardcover. There's a hardcover for you. Corbin.
DC Goes to War?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Okay, I might have to check that out. I'm still waiting for my Dark Multiverse hardcover, so I might hold off of any more of them.
Event Leviathan Checkmate number 1.
Oh, jeez. No. I don't think
that's
so.
a no for me either. Flash
The
75. Or sorry, Flash 755.
Yes.
Nah.
No. Harley Quinn 73.
I think this is the last of the current run.
Is this tying into Joker War?
I
Not
doubt it.
say so.
It's too early.
Yeah, I
If
doubt it
not,
only
then no.
because it's the last of the current creative team on it right now. It's like a transfer.
Well, that book's getting
no.
canceled anyway, so.
Yeah.
Here's Corbin. If you got $150 burning a hole in your pocket, Infinite Crisis Omnibus hardcover.
Whoa.
Whoa.
150
Maybe
bucks.
so. No, I'm already going. I'm trying to buy comics with y'all next week. Nah, can't do it.
I hope you guys saved your pennies from this week's short or small week, because we have Joker 80th anniversary 100-page special spectacular. That's easily a $10 book. I'm all in for this book 100%. You got covers by Greg Capullo, Arthur Adams, David Finch, Jim Lee, Jock. There's so many variant covers for this book. And some of them are just absolutely spectacular looking too. So this is going to be a book that I think is going to hold a lot. I think there's going to be some play into Joker War with this one. I'm super excited for this, but you're looking at, like I said,
Punchline's origin is going to be in that one.
you're looking at a $10 book. There you go. You're looking at a $10 book easily.
No doubt.
On this cover. I'm trying to see if some of these covers are really good. The Capullo one's good. Trying to see some of these other ones here real quick. There's just so many. It looks like the Jock cover. I think the Jock cover is super sick. I don't know. Let me get your guys' opinion here. I pre-ordered the Jock cover.
Let me see. Oh, you already got on it? Oh, wow. I do like that one. It's interesting. Jock is he puts a nice, interesting touch on it, and I like the colors on that. It's whack.
This is here's the Jim
That's more
Lee.
likely the one I'll find myself grabbing.
The Jim Lee cover.
Yep, the 70s variant.
Here's
It's
the
okay.
Capullo cover.
I don't like Capullo on Joker. Oh, but I do like that one.
Well, that looks cool.
Yeah. As soon as I say that, eat your words.
Here's the Arthur Adams 40s variant cover.
Classic gangster stylish. Let me see the 80s.
You want to see the 80s?
Yep. Bill, I forgot his face.
There's the 80s one.
Oh,
Oh.
Not a big fan of that one.
no, me neither.
Delato. The
90s.
Delato's cover is sick too.
Mm.
There's a lot of sick covers, but I went with the Jock. I felt like the Jock was the best one of them all.
It's a pretty good looking book. I will say that. I agree.
Justice League 46.
Yes.
Yeah. I was picked out from the last issue where they were captured Themyscira. Yeah, I'll be picking that up.
Justice League Odyssey 21.
No, I would not.
No.
Lois Lane 11.
No.
That's a no for me as well. Nightwing 71.
Yes.
I might take a look at that. Yeah.
All right. That is DC. Dynamite.
Dinah, no.
Yeah, they don't really have anything. Vampirella Red Sonja number 8.
That's like all they ever put out.
Yeah.
Red Sonja number 45.
IDW Publishing, Cobra Kai, The Karate Kid Saga continues, number 4.
Passola.
Mountain Head, number 4.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't even. Who? No.
Image. We're going into Image now. Let's see. Ice Cream Man, number 19. I am all in for that one. That book has grown on me. Philadelphia, number 6. That's a pass for me.
Yeah.
Undiscovered Country, number 6.
Nah.
Yeah.
Die, number 10.
No.
Marvel, we have Black Cat 11.
No, that book started off really strong, and then it just kind of...
Daredevil 20.
Yes.
I might look into it, but no, not right now.
Deadpool 5.
Yes. Kelly Thompson's been actually doing a pretty good job of that.
Miles Morales, Spider-Man 17.
Okay.
Possibly.
And New Mutants, number 10.
No.
Yeah, there's not a lot out there for me this week. I mean, the two, the Batman and the Joker, those are the two I'm on top of.
I feel like we're going to look at them and go, okay, I like it. Get to the shop and then go like,
yeah.
And then come out with 2 and be right here. So, yeah, I'm really excited for the Batman Adventures. I know it's been online for the longest time, but just to get my hands on a print copy. In fact, I should call my LCS to put it aside for me.
If you're an Oni Press fan or Oni Press fan, Rick and Morty Go to Hell, number 1. Red 5 Comics has 0 Day Threat, number 1. Titans has Snowpiercer Volume 1. If you're a fan of the series and you're watching the TV show, there's that for you. But that rounds out the new release books that are coming out for next week. This week, 6/10/2020. Those are that's what you're looking at. So there's a lot, but yet not a lot. I think the DC books are the ones that are the most tantalizing and mouthwatering this week, especially Batman 92. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, if you have not pre-ordered from your LCS your copies of Batman 92, or it's not on your pull list, please call them right now. Get that book on your pull list, because I think that's going to be a book that's going to be hard to find. It's going to be a book that I think is going to sell out. It's going to be hard to find. The thing with these, since the post-corona books, is we don't know their print run. We don't know. It seems like, especially the Marvel books, their print runs have been lower. They're not printing as many books, and they've canceled a lot of books. So we're kind of in a gray area. But if you want these Joker War books, please contact your LCS, your local comic shop. Please make sure to get them on your pull list, because we don't know the print run on these. I'm sure the Joker 80th anniversary there is going to be pretty heavy. I know a lot of stores probably ordered heavy on Batman 92, but there's going to be something about this book. This book has been sought after. It's been looked after. Punchline is exploding in like Harley Quinn proportions. So, look, if it's a book you want, please make sure to get it on your pull list, because you definitely don't want to miss out on that and then go into eBay to try and pay eBay prices for it, because they're just going to be stupid. So there is that. But do any guys got anything else this week? Any other books you're looking forward to? Any sleepers you think people need to check out?
Actually, I've been reading Mark Waid's Doctor Strange. I think they're on issue 4 so far. I picked them all up just before the whole Corona lag, and it's actually really good. I was really surprised how good it is. So let's throw that in there.
I mean, Mark Waid, legendary,
Yeah, I'm a little shocked that there's no number ones from I guess Faithless number 1 from Boom. I might check that out. Faithless 2 number 1. I might check that out as far as a number 1, but Image doesn't really have any number 1s next week, or there's not a whole lot of number 1s floating there unless they're just not on the list.
I have them all in my mystery box. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Corbin's got them all in that mystery box. Yes, you do. Yes,
I'm just saying. You want Wandering Star number 1, you have to go through me.
But All right. Well, I guess that'll do it for this week's episode of Tales from the Spinner Rack. Guys, if you had a good time, I want to thank everyone for joining us in the chat today and being very, very vocal. If you had a good time, please make sure that like and subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up on the video. Make sure to hit that bell icon so notifications are turned on when you are so you're notified when we go live every Sunday at 3:00 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you are listening to this playback on Tuesday and you enjoyed what you heard and this is your first time here, please make sure to leave us a review. Hit that subscribe button. Reviews help us so much in the podcasting standings to move up and down and get on that new and noteworthy page, which is what we're striving for. We're going to start in July across all Absolute Geek platforms. We're going to start a strive for subscribers push. So we're going to be pushing on that heavily and giving you maybe giveaways and stuff like that to heavily push new subscribers into the channel. So hopefully you can all be a part of that and get the word of mouth out about your love for the Absolute Geek Podcast, Audio Ammunition, or even though Audio Ammunition is not an Absolute Geek property, Jay's still on the show. So you got to give Jay some love there too.
Of course.
And Tales from the Spinner Rack. So we're going to try and get that subscriber push going and kicked off in July. But yeah, for this week's episode of Tales from the Spinner Rack, I am Matt.
I'm Corbin.
I'm Jay.
Saying remember to support your local comic shops, keep them bag and boarded, and always strive for Excelsior. And we'll see you guys next time. Same Spinner Rack time, same Spinner Rack place, same Spinner Rack channel, same Corbin Ford face.
I was laughing at my lame joke.
Opening up more comic random boxes, disgraces.
Yeah, this was pretty interesting.